listener, today's going to be a good day, and here's why.
Beetlejuice, because we're talking about the Addams Family and Beetlejuice. I'm Becca.
And I'm Eni, and this is Sincerely Us, a podcast for the casual musical theater fan. Wow, I can't talk today.
It's fine. It's not like that's what we're going to be doing for the next hour.
Nope, not at all. Hi, Becca.
Hi, Eni. How are you?
I am good. How are you feeling?
Okay. I mean, you're going to have to edit a lot of these coughs, my friend.
Can't wait.
That's just what's going to happen. I'm still sick. We're still drinking tea. We still got that. Oh, by the way, I was diagnosed with bronchitis.
Okay.
Remember how excited I was? That was one of my potatoes that I didn't have bronchitis.
Oh, that's right. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Apparently, okay. Like I've mentioned before, a little bit of a hypochondriac, not crazy, but like just a little bit. Just a little bit. Apparently bronchitis just means inflamed lung. So it's not as scary as it sounds. So like that made me feel better. It just means my lungs are inflamed because as you've heard for the last couple weeks, all I do is cough and die. So.
Well, they haven't heard because I think I've done a good job at editing it out.
Yeah, probably. Also, I sometimes forget that we're recording this and I'm not just talking to you.
Oh, fair.
I feel like Dear Hank and John sometimes because sometimes they'll say things and Hank's like, yeah, I know.
Okay, so since I'm sorry that you're redacting your potato from last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I've been sick for 3.
Oh my, has it been that long already?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess you got sick like right after you got home.
Yeah, from Disney.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, it's fine. We are positive tea. You can't see it. I'm pointing to my tea. I'm in a great mood today. Like a legitimate great mood.
Okay, well, positivity. What's your first potato this week?
My first potato is, okay, so I know we talk about the McElroys a lot. It's fine. But I recently started listening to one of their podcasts called Wonderful, which is one of the brothers, Griffin, and his wife, and they talk about, like, wonderful things in the world. And today, well, not today, I have to, like, I'm really bad about binging podcasts. Like, it's really good because I listen to a lot of podcasts, but it's really bad because all I listen to is one podcast and I don't listen to anything else and everything else is neglected. So I'm committing myself to only being allowed to listen to this podcast one a day.
Oh.
It's so hard. Because you know me, I want to just binge.
That's difficult because I've literally listened to like 14 episodes of Mabim Bam today.
Yeah.
Like just today.
But I've been trying to like branch out, whatever. Because I'm not exaggerating, since April, all I've listened to is McElroy content. So I like need to chill for a second and stop re-listening to The Adventure Zone. But anyway, so this podcast is all about like wonderful things in the world. And there's the one that I listened to today. It was like their 6th episode or something. It was about pumpkin spice. And I came home and I was talking to my mom about how wonderful her pumpkin muffins are. It's literally just like a can of pumpkin and then spice mix.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And you just mix it together and then bake them. And she goes, I'll make those for you. I have the ingredients. And I was like, okay. So now I get pumpkin muffins.
Oh, I want pumpkin muffins.
Breakfast. Yeah. So that podcast led to me getting pumpkin muffins for breakfast tomorrow.
That's what's up.
What's your second one? I mean, your first one.
Well, my first one is that I did my nails today. And I am definitely someone that I used to get my nails done like every 2 weeks. I would go and do my nails. And I probably haven't done that since like June. I think since like June I haven't gone to do my nails, and it was just I was giving my nails a break and whatever. And then, I mean, we were talking about the McElroys. Because of Travis, I went and bought like vinyl sticker things that are basically just like stick on nail polish. So I did that on my lunch break today, and it makes me happy to see my nails done.
Yeah, when you logged on, I literally asked you if you got your nails done. That's how good they look.
I know, they look great. And it's just a sticker, because I could never do this myself.
See, that's amazing.
I love them.
I can't either. I'm not coordinated.
Nope. Especially, like, if I were to do my right hand, having to use my left hand.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
Yeah, I could probably get away with 2 left hands.
If only that were a thing.
True.
What's your second potato?
before we logged on, because I got home pretty early today. I got home around 4:30. And before we started recording, I was playing my uke for like an hour and a half, and it was great. And it just made me so happy. I haven't played it since before Disney.
I'm so sad that you didn't bring it when you came down.
I know,
here.
I forgot.
I know. We talked about it.
Sad.
It made me sad.
Well, I was sad too. So I was really excited because I literally couldn't find it. So it was one of those moments where I was just like stressed out. I looked everywhere. I tore apart my car. You don't even want to see my room right now. Literally everything is everywhere. I couldn't find it. I was so sad. And then so I was talking to my mom about it. The pumpkin muffin conversation too. This happened at the same time. And she goes, well, let me just look. Like, maybe you're just overlooking it. She walked in, goes to the end of my bed, picks it up. And I'm like, where did you find that?
It was just at the end of your bed?
Yeah, it was like sitting like right under the lip of my bed.
Oh, wow.
And it's black. So like when I looked with a flashlight, even with a flashlight, I couldn't find it. It must have fallen out of my backpack, like under my bed.
Oh, gotcha.
So, because I found the backpack, but it was empty. So, yeah. So after we log off, I'm gonna go back to playing the ukulele. Because I tried to learn the part in Beetlejuice, the like ukulele part. But I am not skilled enough yet for that. It's like F sharp and like B major, and they all have bar chords, and I can't do that yet. So, what's your second potato?
Okay, so my second potato is that this weekend, my brother and I are doing like a mini trial run of Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
Because, so I've been in charge of Thanksgiving for my family for the last 6 years, I think. Uh-huh. So like everybody comes to my house and like I'm kind of like in charge of cooking, and my mom always helped me out, but like it's my holiday. Right. And my brother's always been in charge of the turkey because he has like all of these fancy ways that he likes to cook the turkey. So like every year it's been something different. And like last year he actually like sous vide the turkey, which is like basically like this, what I call a food jacuzzi, because what you do is you put whatever you're going to cook in like a Ziploc or like vacuum sealed. And then you literally cook it in water. And the sous vide device is like what keeps the water at the right temperature in order to cook it. And it's like a kind of low and slow way of cooking stuff. So we cooked the turkey in a huge like cooler basically filled with water. And it was like he debones the turkey and the whole thing and then like puts it in a giant Ziploc bag and vacuum seals it, and that's how it was cooked. And then like you put it in the oven for like maybe 10 minutes after just to brown it. But this year we're doing a jerk turkey. Like we're using jerk seasonings, which it's a really common Jamaican seasoning.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and we're trying a couple of other recipes for like green bean casseroles and stuff like that. So we kind of decided, instead of just, game time decision, that we're going to do a trial run. So we're like buying a turkey breast this weekend, and we're going to like attempt the recipe that we want to try to make sure that it's actually good. And I'm super excited.
That's so cool.
I love Thanksgiving. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's kind of like one of those holidays for me where some of my best like childhood memories are of Thanksgiving, like waking up, watching the parade and helping my mom cook. And that's kind of why I like took over the holiday for my family. So I love hosting Thanksgiving. And the one thing that I'm kind of not excited about is my mom's actually working Thanksgiving. So we're actually having Thanksgiving the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And while I was kind of bummed about it at first, I'm actually more excited because a lot of our friends are going to be able to come because they're not going to be like with their families because it's Saturday.
Oh, so it worked out perfect. It's kind of like, I think we called it like Misfits Thanksgiving. We had one year too. I mean, our moms are both nurses, so it's pretty common that they work on holidays. I think my mom called it Misfits Thanksgiving because like everyone was invited because no one had obligations.
Exactly. And my mom's been really good. She's had like the last, I think like 2 or 3 years that she's worked it out somehow that she didn't work Thanksgiving. But then this year she was like, they weren't buying it this year. I have to work. I'm like, fine.
Yeah, my mom usually is like, I get to pick one holiday that I get. Or like 2. You have to like pick one holiday you work.
Yeah, for my mom, like it works out. Like if she works Thanksgiving, then she doesn't work Christmas.
Right.
And then like last year she didn't work Thanksgiving. She didn't work Christmas, but then she worked like New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
it's a good trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. We're not huge like New Year's people, so usually
it's actually my favorite holiday.
Really?
Well, New Year's and 4th of July.
Okay. I get it.
And like this year I had an epiphany and I was like, oh, that's because it's the holidays you hang out with your friends.
Not necessarily your family.
Right.
Gotcha.
And like, it's not that I don't like my family. It's just I would much prefer to hang out with my friends.
Oh, I get that. I completely understand that. I've been fortunate enough that like my friends and my brother's friends have been our friends now for like 10, 11, 12, 13 years. Yeah. So we are kind of at that age where everyone just chooses where they're at regardless of the holiday. So a lot of my friends come over for Thanksgiving and Christmas to our house because that's just where we've always hung out.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I'm super excited for Trial Thanksgiving this weekend.
That sounds so awesome.
I'm super excited. I love Thanksgiving so much. What's your third potato?
Honestly, that I'm wearing jeans right now because I work so much that I'm either in dance clothes or I'm in my work uniform. And it was at work. We had a jeans day at work where we like donate $5 to a charity once a month. And if you donate $5, you get to wear jeans to work. And I was so excited. I wore my skinny jeans and I rolled them up a little bit. And I wore my white Converse. And I actually...
I saw in all of your snaps. I was like, ooh, she's in jeans.
Yeah. And it's just such a simple little thing that makes me so happy because, like, I know I was at work, but it felt like I wasn't at work because I didn't have to wear that stupid uniform.
I feel that.
Yeah. Which I loved when I first got the job. Do not love it now. So.
Oh, your uniform's not that bad.
I mean, it's not, but I hate wearing khakis every day. Just because I'm such a messy person that, like, I'm constantly buying khakis because they just get stained so bad. And also, like, when I inspect my bus and stuff, I get grease all over me. Speaking of which, I was just rubbing grease into my eye, so that's great.
Oh my god.
I didn't realize I had grease on my hands. Well, that's great. That was good live on the pod. But it wasn't like actual grease, but it was like just a little teeny bit. I just love jeans. It makes me so happy. I've had such a good day. I'm just so happy.
That's awesome.
What's your third potato?
Okay, so my third potato is that this episode is coming out Wednesday, October 30th.
It is.
2019.
It is.
So the day that this episode goes live is my 10-year anniversary with Linton.
Oh, the best couple ever.
And I'm like low-key freaking out about it because 10 years is such a long time.
It is.
But also, I'm like super excited because 10 years is such a long time.
Yeah.
And I love him and I'm super excited and I love our anniversary. And I guess, well, yeah, so next weekend, so November 2nd or whatever, he's taking me to go see Coco live. Mm-hmm. So it's like the movie Coco with a live orchestra.
That's so cool.
So I'm very excited about it.
That's such a good, that's like such a good specific to you guys' anniversary date.
It really is. He did good.
Yeah, it's good. Speaking of the best couple, do you want to talk about another really amazing couple? Did you like that segue?
I guess. Go ahead.
Can we just talk about how wonderful Morticia and Gomez are from the Addams Family?
Amazing.
Like,
I love them.
So I thought about it a lot today. And I mean, I grew up watching the Addams Family, like the TV show and the movie. Yeah. And they just were like so ahead of their time with like the way that they communicate, the way that they talk to their kids and all of that, even in the black and white TV show. Yeah. Like they were very like sex forward couple, but like not in a gross way. And just, they were just like in love the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. My one complaint about this cast album, because obviously I haven't seen the Addams Family show, is that like Nathan Lane is not a person that I would cast for Gomez Addams.
I mean, yeah, because Gomez Addams is supposed to be like, he's like an iconic Hispanic character.
Well, not even just that, but yes. But like he's also supposed to be like super like suave and like Nathan Lane is just not that person in my head.
I can see that. I really liked his because I listened to a couple of them because the reason I found the show is because of Carrie Hope Fletcher. So obviously I've listened to I've listened to, I forget his name, but whoever was Gomez with her. And I definitely like Nathan Lane's Morticia song better.
Cameron Blakely.
I could not have pulled that out of my head if I tried. But I definitely liked Nathan Lane's more. I don't know. I felt a lot more feeling with that one. Oh,
don't get me wrong. I love Nathan Lane. I think he's great. I am a huge fan of the producers, and he's in the producers. And I think he has a great voice, and I love him. I just, like, I don't know, it kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like, oh, that's Gomez. I was like, that's Nathan Lane. Like, that's Timon. That, you know, that is not who...
Oh, yeah, he is Timon.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah, so I was just like, that's not the guy. Like, that's just not the guy.
I can see what's happening.
What?
And they don't have a clue.
Who?
Delpha. We can't go much further or else we'll get fair use.
Or you'll start coughing.
I mean that too. Definitely that too.
Yeah, I just like, again, it took me out of it a little bit because that's just not who I have in my mind. But
also the guy that, I mean, I say originate because it's a musical theater term, but the first person to play Gomez in like the TV show, he is just so iconic. I just like this TV show was such like a pillar of my life because I was that weird kid that, I mean, like I mentioned last week, I wasn't allowed to watch Nickelodeon. So I would only watch TV Land or Disney. So I Love Lucy, Leave It to Beaver, The Addams Family, The Munsters, like that's what I grew up watching. And so I love this show. Like I was jamming in my bus today. Obviously no clients, in case my boss is listening. Did not have any clients. But I was just jamming. Especially, like I mentioned in the Badass Woman episode, I just love Wednesday in general. But her especially in this show, I think really shows a lot of her character development.
Wednesday Addams is just like, she's such an awesomely written character. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I don't even know when the show came out. I know it was a very, very long time ago.
The TV show or the show?
The TV show.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, because it was on TV Land. It was in black and white.
Dang it, if you Google Addams Family, I forgot that there's a new one out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, there were comics, 1964.
Yeah, my parents grew up with it, and they were born in the 60s.
Yeah, like, when you think about, like, the time that it came out, I just, like, Wednesday, like, being written the way that she is, and even Morticia, like, they're such strong women. Considering they were written in the 60s.
Absolutely.
And this, I think the show, at least from what I gathered listening to the cast album, I think does those two characters justice.
I mean, my favorite song, I would just, anytime you hear me talk about the Addams Family, the first time I was ever introduced was Carrie Hope Fletcher, so she will always be my Wednesday Addams.
Obviously.
Light of my life. But her version of Pulled is it's easily one of my favorite musical theater songs in general. I've literally been singing it all day, no matter what song I listened to on the soundtrack. When it stopped, I had Pulled stuck in my head. But I just really love that song because it's such a good character song. Like, that is a great audition song because it shows, like, such a wide range of emotion, and it has a lot of, like, talking points and, like, a lot of, like, ups and downs in her emotions. But one of my favorite lines is when she's talking about how her mom taught her to be kind to people. And when you think of the Addams Family, like, if you didn't know who these characters were, like, if you just knew the basis that they're obsessed with death, and they like spooky things, and they're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky, you would never think that would be a thing that Morticia would, you know, instill into her children.
Yeah.
But they are, like, the most loving, loyal, and, like, I don't want to say particularly good people. They are, but, like, they're... I don't want to say they're between, this is going to be such a weird comparison. They're between Elle Woods and Sweeney Todd.
I mean, I feel like everyone is in between Elle Woods and Sweeney Todd. Like, that is such a wide margin.
No, because like they have a set standard of morals, like Elle Woods. But they also are, like, obsessed with death and creepy like Sweeney Todd. So, like, they're just, like, if it's even the music, especially when you listen to the music of this, very Legally Blonde. The tone, I don't know. The tone is like the two shows to me put together. It's probably why I love that show, because I love this style of musical theater. I totally forgot when I was re-listening to it today. I probably haven't listened to this album in like a year. When I was re-listening to it today, I totally forgot, like, I love the Hispanic influence in When You're in Addams. I thought that I loved that, and then, like, all of the songs are so different. I just love this show, and I totally forgot how much I love this show until we were, like, we need Halloween shows. And I was like, well, let's pick two that, we don't really talk about. I just love both of these shows so much.
Yeah, so I honestly hadn't listened to either of them before we decided to do this. After listening to the Addams Family, like, I have definitely heard certain songs.
Yeah.
Other than, like, the Addams Family. Yeah, like, obviously. But like, Pulled was definitely a song that I've heard covered like a million times.
Yeah, it's such a good, like, not soprano. What's the other one? What's the one that's not soprano? Alto. It's a good alto song.
Yeah.
Well, I always say tenor because when I got my voice like chosen or whatever in chorus, when I was told my part, my teacher said, I mean, you're a female, so you're not a tenor, but also you're a tenor. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I never remember what alto is.
Oh, so I definitely have heard Pulled before. There's a couple of other songs. I don't have the track list in front of me.
Probably Crazier Than You. Those are the two most popular.
Yeah, that I've definitely heard before, but this isn't a cast album that I have ever listened to, like, beginning to end. And I listened to it, I think, 3 or 4 times today. And it's a very well developed, like, story as far as the songs go. It's like, it's definitely one of those that I can tell what's happening.
Yeah.
By the cast album.
Absolutely. Which is definitely hard sometimes when we listen to these cast albums, like when we covered, I don't want to say Hadestown too much, but kind of like when we covered Hadestown, when it's hard to, a lot of it is through action, whereas I feel like with the Addams Family, a lot of it is through words.
Hadestown, for me, is kind of in the middle. I can definitely, like, the way that we covered it, that we listened to it and didn't look anything up, and then, like, I think that I was able to get the gist of what was happening through the cast album.
Yeah.
But, like, something like Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. Oh, Moulin Rouge would be so hard.
Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I had seen the movie and I know, like, what happens, like, there was no way that I could tell what was happening because it's essentially a cast album full of covers.
Right.
So this does a really good job. I would say around the same as Hadestown, maybe a little more, of me being able to see, like, kind of picture what's happening on stage in my head.
Especially the second time through, because you start to recognize the actor voices. Because that's always the hardest part when you first listen to a cast album. It's why, like, before we started this podcast, I would hardly ever listen to new cast albums. Like, it took me 2 years to listen to Dear Evan Hansen. A year and a half to listen to Hamilton.
I can't with you.
I don't like trying new things, and that's why this podcast is so good for me. Because that's why we specifically picked these two shows.
Though.
But yeah, that's like why we picked these two shows.
Yeah, because these are definitely two shows that we've never really talked about.
Right.
I know that we've talked about Beetlejuice a couple times just because of what's happening with music. With
the show who must not be named.
with starring that guy who we will not discuss. We've talked about it a couple times before, and I know that you've been listening to Beetlejuice for a couple weeks now.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's come up, but these are, and you said that you had listened to Addams Family when Carrie Fletcher.
Yeah. Also, my high school did it. My sophomore year of college.
Okay.
So, like, I knew the gist of the show, but I wouldn't say that I was familiar with it by any means.
Oh, like this, the most that I was familiar with the Addams Family is all of its other mediums. So, like, the other movies, the TV show, and stuff like that. I had never actually had any interest in seeing the Addams Family show, and now I kind of regret that because I think the music's really awesome. Nathan Lane really took me out of it. And then with Beetlejuice, I was like, oh, I'll just listen to Beetlejuice. I've seen the movie 1,000 times. I know exactly what this is about. And it's so different from the movie. It's so different.
I can't remember the quote. And it deters so far from the source material.
He even says it in, like, the second song. I'm like, okay.
See, Beetlejuice, so with the Addams Family, you can kind of go back and forth to the songs between them. But with Beetlejuice, the whole experience, you have to listen to it all the way through. Like,
yeah, it has to be start 10. There's no shuffle.
Yeah, like
involved.
I put I think it was the whole being dead thing, and when he starts with "Excuse me, begging your pardon," I'm like, that's not how this song starts. So we can start talking about Beetlejuice.
Okay.
If you've been following me on Twitter, you know my brand new love for Alex Brightman. He is the light of my life. I love him. Guys, listen. My life has been changed by this podcast. Apparently, I love Andrew Lloyd Webber because now I've been listening to School of Rock.
I legitimately cannot wait to review Cats.
Okay, listen. I will tell you 2 things that will never change on this podcast. All right? Are you ready for this? I will never like Cats. I will never like Hugh Jackman. I would have said I will never like Phantom. That changed. I do like Phantom now.
Exactly. Like, you can't say never.
Cats is creepy, and it is known in the musical theater industry.
Oh, it is
to
creepy,
be awful.
but
awful.
We're still gonna review it.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna go see the movie. I'm not gonna be nice.
That's fine. You don't have to be nice. It's just a conversation that we have to have and record it.
See, guys, you have heard me and Edie argue about this a couple times on air. Now just imagine that times 10 in our personal lives, because, like, she had to, like, literally convince me. She's like, no, we have to cover it. And I was like, we really don't. She's like, no, we do.
Let's not even listen. Like, we argue about Cats a lot, but it also took me some convincing for you to watch Phantom.
It's true.
And look, now,
see, but everyone loves Phantom. No one likes Cats.
Not everyone loves Phantom, but yeah, no one loves Cats.
But is respected in the musical community.
It is Phantom, not Cats.
No, I mean Cats maybe, but I'm ignoring that. Did you know that Carrie Hope Fletcher's boyfriend Oliver was in Cats?
Which, do you know who he played?
Oliver Ormston. I don't know. No.
A cat?
Well, obviously.
It was a joke. Relax.
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean? That almost got me to listen to it. And then I was like, better not.
I mean, isn't it on Broadway HD?
Yeah.
Can't we just, like, watch it? Like, we have to watch it when we watch the movie. You realize that, right?
Eenie. I had
Listen,
to take my glasses off. I can't even look at you.
You agreed to start a musical theater podcast with me.
I did.
There is a musical a movie musical coming out, and you think we're not going to cover it?
I will go see the movie blind.
Okay.
I don't want to consume more Cats than I need to.
No. I agree. I think you should go see the movie blind, but I think you should also see the show after you see the movie.
Okay, we will have the discussion after I see this stupid movie.
Oh my gosh. Your, like, favorite person is in it. Taylor Swift is in it. How could it be bad?
2 of them. James Corden's in it too.
Oh, he is in it. I'm, like, cringing because I could literally see the trailer playing in my head.
It's disgusting.
It looks so scary.
Like, honestly, who decided this was a good idea?
Okay, well, we will continue this conversation in December once
it comes out that soon?
Yeah, actually, we actually might not even release our episode until January.
Thank the Lord.
Because it doesn't come out till the 20th, and we already have our Christmas episode planned. So, yeah.
Well, because Christmas is on a Wednesday, so New Year's will be on a Wednesday, so it might have to be our New Year's episode.
I don't want to start the new year off with Cats.
Well, that's why it should be the last one, because we should leave it in 2019 where it belongs.
Okay, but the last Wednesday in December is the 25th.
No, the 30th. 31st.
Is a Tuesday.
Fine. Listen, I was having such a good day, Edie.
Let's bring it back to the positivity. Let's talk about Beetlejuice.
You mean the greatest show that okay, let's take a moment.
Okay. Choose your words wisely.
What's my favorite show right now?
The Lightning Thief.
Beetlejuice is better than The Lightning Thief. But I love The Lightning Thief because I love Percy Jackson and I love the people around it and I love the music. But Beetlejuice as a musical is better.
Did you watch it?
No.
Okay.
But I have seen, like, videos and, like, the trailer a million times. But that doesn't mean I don't love The Lightning Thief. In case anyone who is at The Lightning Thief is listening, I love The Lightning Thief. The Lightning Thief is my favorite show. All the people that have, all our listeners message me about how I get them into The Lightning Thief. Please don't think that I don't love The Lightning Thief. Okay, continue.
Okay, anyone who follows you on any sort of social media knows that you love The Lightning Thief, Becca.
I love The Lightning Thief a lot.
I get like 6 to 7 updates about what's happening with The Lightning Thief a day.
Eni was literally watching a Playbill video just before this with Kristen Stokes, who plays Annabeth, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hi, I'm Kristen Stokes," and I whipped around in Skype and I was like, "Why are you watching The Lightning Thief stuff without me?"
I couldn't even finish the video because I was upset.
I was upset. Listen, it is my thing. I love it so much. I can't wait to see it. Oh my god, I'm going to start crying. We need to talk about something else.
Okay, alright. So, Beetlejuice is very different, at least what I gathered, because we may or may not be in possession of a bootleg. I haven't watched it.
Oliver, sweetheart, listen. we don't watch bootlegs.
Never.
Never. I would never do that to you, sweetheart.
You would never text me a bootleg of Mean Girls.
Never.
Like
the
3
Legally
hours
Blonde
ago.
one is legal because it was on MTV, so don't come for me, Eni. But
I know I'm talking about the Mean Girls one that you sent to me like 2 hours ago.
It specifically says this is not a Mean Girls bootleg.
Oh, well. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sad I missed that when it came to Boston.
It's actually going to be here in February, so I'm going to plan to see it before I watch that bootleg.
Granted, February is Valentine's Day. Mean Girls is pink. Let's do it.
Duh. Yeah, I definitely missed Les Mis, and I'm really upset about it.
I mean, I'm probably going to miss 6, and I'm kind of upset about it, but it's fine.
Right now, what is playing right now? Oh, it's the Jimmy Buffett musical.
Margaritaville?
Yeah. So I entered into lottery ticket, like to win lottery tickets for that.
You haven't listened to that Mabim Bam episode, have you?
I haven't.
They literally interview people on the red carpet of the opening of Margaritaville. It is the greatest episode of all time.
No way.
That's why Matt Doyle was such a funny thing at the Brooklyn thing. That's why you didn't get that joke, the Matt Doyle joke.
Okay.
But like,
I was too busy being impressed that Lin-Manuel Miranda was singing
guys,
the intro music.
Even if you don't like Mabim Bam, which is fine, it's my brother and me that we talk about all the time, and you love Lin-Manuel Miranda, just go listen to him rewrite all of We Didn't Start the Fire.
Right? The worst Billy Joel song ever.
Yeah, I love that song.
That's the worst Billy Joel song.
Our adult team is literally doing a routine to it this year. I love it.
I mean, that's fine. But it's still the worst Billy Joel song.
I mean, true. But I still love it. No, the best Billy Joel song is Uptown Girl.
Absolutely
She's been living it. It's literally one of my all-time favorite songs. Okay.
So the best Billy Joel song is Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, full stop.
No, it's Uptown Girl.
No, it's not.
It is.
Also, he never performs that song anymore.
Okay. You know who doesn't perform in general? Kansas. And you know what my favorite song of all time is? Carry On My Wayward Son. Full stop. Did you know that? Okay, you want to hear a funny story about that song, actually? My mom...
Sure.
Okay, so my mom grew up in the 70s, and my mom grew up in the 60s and 70s when, like, that song was relevant, and...
Stop laughing at your own joke.
It's not a joke. That's the funny part. Until, like, the 90s, she thought it was Gary Young, My Wayward Son.
What?
like
no way.
They had a son called Gary Young.
Okay, we don't make fun of your mom, but that's hilarious.
We do, because she doesn't listen to this podcast, and I mentioned that I told the Les Mis story last week, and she goes, "You talk about me in a podcast?" And I said, "I don't know, do I?"
Oh, that's so mean. She doesn't listen. My mom definitely listens and has not spoken to me since the Phantom episode came out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't get something where she was mad at me.
So, as I said last week, Phantom is like my mom's favorite show ever. So, obviously, she's in love with the Phantom. Like, regardless of the fact that he's a terrible person, she will always apologize for him. So, like, I'm here, like, he literally killed people. Like, how are you okay with that? And her response is, okay, but, like, he was raised wrong. And then I'm like, that doesn't make it okay that he's a murderer. And then she's just like, but he loves her. I'm like, okay, that still doesn't make it okay that he's a murderer.
Trauma does not excuse actions. That's all I'm going to say.
Point is, my mother does listen to this podcast and is not speaking to me because of what we like, basically, like, took a dump on the love of her life.
Can't she just go to liking Eric from Little Mermaid? He's so much better, and he also sucks, but at least he's better than the Phantom.
No, because, like, she's not even... The reason that the Little Mermaid's her favorite isn't even because of Eric. It's because she came from a controlling household and never let... They never let her do the things that she wanted to do. Oh. So, like, that's why she identifies so much with the Little Mermaid.
Oh.
And my grandparents don't listen to this podcast, so I can say that with full confidence. But the rest of my family that does listen to this podcast is laughing right now. Anyway, yeah, so what are we talking about? Oh, yeah, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant is the best Billy Joel song. Full stop.
It's Uptown Girl.
It is not.
That's okay. You can be wrong.
You're definitely the wrong one here.
It's Uptown Girl. Specifically, the Glee version of Uptown Girl.
Oh my god!
But I also like the Billy Joel version. I'm not exaggerating. Every
You
time
are
that song
so
comes
wrong about that.
What?
You are so wrong about that. Number one, the Billy Joel version of his own song is obviously the better version.
No.
Number two, Uptown Girl is not the best Billy Joel song.
I don't think it was... did I say it was the best Glee song? The best Glee song is
No,
Teenage Dream.
I said the best Billy Joel song.
Oh, I thought you said the best Glee song. But the best... Okay, listen. The best Glee song is any song Darren Criss is on. First of all, let's just go there.
Cough Syrup by Darren Criss.
Oh my god,
is
Fighter.
My life.
Oh my god, Fighter. When he is shirtless in the shower. 18-year-old Becca's back, y'all. Darren Criss.
Who is back on Broadway.
Okay, listen, we can't even have this conversation because the last time he was on Broadway was my first Broadway show and I was 17 and it was the greatest weekend of my life. I mean, I'm definitely exaggerating. It wasn't the greatest weekend of my life, but also it was like an amazing weekend and it was I just have so many shows I want to see. Just so many.
Anyway, so
honestly, if Lightning Thief wasn't on right now, Beetlejuice would be top of my list. The set, the songs, the acting, Alex Brightman. Listen, I just want to see everything. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to get Lightning Thief tickets, and then I'll probably do like a Saturday to Sunday, and then on Sunday I'm just going to walk up to the Today Takes booth and be like, hey, what's your cheapest tickets? Give me something. And they'll be like, the Lightning Thief. And I'll be like, okay, but listen, I can't just buy 2 more tickets to the Lightning Thief. Because here's another reason why the Lightning Thief is amazing, is because they make their tickets actually affordable so that families with children can actually go. They start at $40 and they only go up to $150.
Wow.
So, love you, Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm side-eyeing you. You can't see this is an audio medium. And, like, it's a smaller theater, so, like, there's no bad seats. I love the Lightning Thief.
Okay, but we're not talking about the Lightning Thief. We're talking about Beetlejuice.
Talking about the Lightning Thief. Okay,
so in the movie, have you seen the Beetlejuice movie?
Of course I have. Childhood staple.
Okay, you act like it would be completely out of your wheelhouse to have not seen a movie.
But it's Beetlejuice.
That's what I said about Edward Scissorhands, and you've never seen Edward Scissorhands.
I had never even heard of Edward Scissorhands till I went to college.
That's insane. Anyway.
I didn't know that Beetlejuice was Michael Keaton.
Wow. I'm so glad that it was a childhood staple for you.
It was. I didn't know the actors. Oh. I was a child.
It was Batman.
Oh, then that's not who I'm thinking he is.
Yeah. Michael Keaton.
Isn't he the Vulture?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So he is who I was thinking he is.
Yeah, Michael Keaton also played Batman in a Tim Burton version of Batman. Now. He played Batman and...
We've never talked about my hatred for Batman on this podcast.
You hate Batman?
All right, I think I need to go, guys. Yes,
Hi,
I hate Batman.
Eni here. If you're interested in co-hosting a podcast about musical theater, feel free to DM me on Instagram or Twitter, or just, send some smoke flares, because apparently I'm doing this show alone from now on. How do you hate Batman?
I think, okay, if we're really going to get into this, first of all, I don't like him for the same reasons I don't like Iron Man, which is hard for you because you love Iron Man.
Oh my god! How? I'm done. I'm hanging up the Skype call right now. That's it. It's over. Sincerely, cancelled.
Sincerely, Eni.
Yeah, because, wow. Oh.
I don't like that he's just a rich guy in a suit. I don't like that he doesn't have powers. I don't like that his superpower is money. I don't like his backstory. I think he's boring.
First of all, Iron Man. I can't form words in my head right now because I'm in utter shock that we are friends. Okay. Iron Man is extremely intelligent. His superpower is his brain. Or was.
Oh, I agree with that. But, I put him in the same category as Batman. But see, Iron Man is my least favorite Avenger.
Oh my god.
But I like him more than Batman. See, but also, I love the Avengers. So, being my least favorite Avenger is, still pretty high up on superhero lists. You know who I love?
The worst Avenger?
Hawkeye.
The worst Avenger?
Listen, we love him.
No, I'm just using my words to hurt you.
We stand A deaf superhero.
I'm just using my words to hurt you. That's all.
I mean, it's fine. I just attacked two of your favorite superheroes.
Except that I don't actually hate Hawkeye, and you actually don't like Iron Man. And, like, I'm legitimately tearing up right now because I'm so upset.
That's fine. I'm used to people being, like, really mad at me. Like, I like to make a joke that my favorite Batman is Jack Kelly because Christian Bale also played him. That's a good joke.
I'm so proud that you remembered his name.
Yeah, because didn't I think it was that other guy? Who was the director?
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I always get them mixed up. Hey, remember how we were supposed to be talking about musical theater? I mean, I just mentioned Newsies, so, like, I'm kind of on brand. But
You're gonna have to talk. I need a minute.
Okay. Well, what you guys don't know is Edie and I are, like, huge Marvel fans as well. Like, intense Marvel fans. And it's so funny to me that Iron Man's your favorite, and you really like Batman, too. Because,
I mean, listen, Batman is not my favorite of the DC characters. He's Batman. Like, I love Batman.
He's annoying.
I don't like Ben Affleck as Batman. But the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy is amazing.
Oh, I've seen them.
The Batman animated TV, cartoons were awesome. Batman Beyond was amazing. Like, I can't believe you don't like Batman.
I just find him boring.
He's not boring.
I mean, he's a rich dude.
Would you rather except that he's not just a rich dude. He's decided to use his money and his wealth to literally, like, protect the city of Gotham.
I'm Batman.
I hate you so much. I'm so angry right now.
I don't think you understand that this is literally not even touching me because you know how many years I've just been yelled at by nerds my entire life?
I'm not yelling at you.
You are kind of.
This is not me yelling at you.
It's kind of. You should see your face, guys. It's kind of.
I have crazy eyes on right now.
Literally, like the craziest I've ever seen her be in her entire life.
Okay, well.
Hi.
We're talking about how much I hate Batman.
Why do you hate Batman? He's got such a cute little sidekick. Robin's so cute.
Mom, say it into the mic. Don't talk too loud.
I don't know why she hates Batman either. She can't hear me.
Yes, I can, but I don't understand it either. I've never understood it.
This is got a brand new knowledge.
Got a really cute butler.
I thought you were going to say butt.
This is new knowledge that I literally learned while we're recording our podcast, so I'm still, like, taken aback.
Which is so funny. This has been a part of my personality for, like, 10 years.
Oh my god, she's always hated Batman. I don't know why.
That's insane to me. Batman's awesome.
Who does not want all those muscles in black? Come on.
Oh my god. That's why you like Batman?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you came on. Have a good day.
Anyway, Michael Keaton played Beetlejuice is the point in the movie.
And he did really good. So
in the movie, it's kind of centered more around the dead couple versus I feel like the show is
it's Lydia's show.
Yeah, it's more Lydia than anything else.
That's why I'm so glad we're covering these two shows together because they both kind of did the same thing. They both really strayed away from the source material because we've only ever seen Wednesday as a little girl.
Yeah.
So first of all, it really strayed away from that because she literally gets engaged and falls in love in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, Beetlejuice really strays away because Lydia was just like a supporting character. And, oh my god, what's the Stranger Things woman's name again?
Winona Ryder.
I always want to say Sigourney Weaver.
No! That's the lady from Alien.
I haven't seen that either.
Wow! Fine. She's the one who's the voice in Finding Dory for the aquarium. How's that?
That's how I know her name. So I really like that these two shows, they took, supporting characters. Like Wednesday and Lydia were supporting characters. The Addams Family was a lot about their family in general, so it was really hard to have a main character, but this show is it is Wednesday's show.
I also think it does a good job at balancing, because, I mean, the show's called Beetlejuice, so, like, the lead actor is still Beetlejuice.
Right. I like that he's the narrator.
Yes. I think it does a good job at that. Like I just assumed that it was going to be Alex Brightman the entire time, just going off, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's terrible Jamaican accent cracked me up. I was listening to it with Linton, and he kind of just looked at me. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what's happening right now." And I'm like, "But that," he's like, "It happens." He's like, "I know it happens in the movie because he's seen the movie too," which he doesn't watch movies either. So like for him to have seen that movie was pretty intense for knowledge for me. But yeah, when they do the Banana Boat song, he was just like, wow, they're just going for it. I'm like, yeah, it's a terrible Jamaican accent, but it's really funny. He was cracking up and he was
and
laughing.
that's why it is funny, is because it's not realistic
at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went in thinking that it was just going to be Alex Brightman with a sprinkle of everyone else because, I mean, it's Beetlejuice. But it wasn't that. It was definitely a lot more Lydia heavy than anything else. I
really like, I mean, like, this isn't a new thought, obviously, because this has been kind of the hype around the show. I love how much Beetlejuice talks to the crowd.
Yeah, just like breaking the movie. The third wall is awesome.
Yeah, and I love...
Fourth wall.
Yeah, his character in general. It's so different from the movie. Like, his I don't want to say his character is incredibly different because it's not, but I think that he's much bigger in the show, which makes sense. I mean, it's theater, but I really like the way that, you know, he did the voice and the way he's like super sassy, and like I love the the killing babies line from it's not Ready Set Not Yet, it's the Fright of Their Lives. Just the way he like delivers it, or the part where he goes, let's get naked, they're like, no, he's like, well, had to try. Like it's such an interesting way of doing it because he carries the show, but it's not his show. This is like a weird comparison because I don't think it's like an exact analogy, but it kind of reminds me of like the Aaron Burr situation in Hamilton, where it's him telling the story and like he's in most of the story, but it's not his story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but he's still a lead actor.
Listen, we already had this fight with Ethan last week. We're not carrying it over.
I will continue to have this argument with him because you can have more than one lead actor, especially in Broadway shows.
Yeah, Elder Cunningham and Elder Price.
Hamilton and Burr.
I mean, I get where he's coming from because then, like, it gives more people more chances. I get that. Like, I think you should only be able to pick one, but I think that there can be more than one lead, like, in a show. But I think you should only be allowed to pick one.
I disagree.
Well, we'll talk about that more in June.
Okay. I had only heard Alex Brightman on School of Rock before this. Ugh. I'm not sure what else.
What a man.
Oh, now.
What a man, what a
now
man,
you're
what
all
a man, what a mighty good man.
Now you're all into School of Rock.
Well, I thought, okay, honestly, you want to hear true facts? I thought School of Rock was a jukebox musical until I looked more into it and realized it wasn't. I've never seen School of Rock, the movie.
You've never seen the movie?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, I watched, because I
highly recommend the movie.
Oh, I'm going to. I love Jack Black. I don't know why I haven't seen it, but it's definitely one of those that, like, is surprising that I haven't seen it because it's very much in my wheel, like, what I like.
That's like one of those movies that I remember watching in like middle school whenever there was a substitute.
That's so funny.
So I've seen that movie 7,000 times.
You have mentioned that twice, and I've never had a movie like that. Like, our school didn't operate that way.
Oh, we had, like, in middle school, our band director had, like, 4 or 5 movies, and, like, obviously one of them was Drumline, because band. School of Rock was another one, and there was one other, like, musically...
Well, it was Legally Blonde. It was when you mentioned...
Well, no, that was high school. Oh. Legally Blonde, I remember, and then same thing in high school, like, my band director, because we would travel, you know, for band competitions and stuff. And Florida's a very long state.
I thought you meant... Oh, okay. I thought you meant, like, in class. I was like, why are you watching so many movies in class?
Oh, no.
Okay.
In middle school, we would, especially, like, my first year that we were in, like, beginning band, because our band director would go with, like, the advanced band to competition or whatever.
Oh, yeah, and you can't really have substitutes for band now that I think about that.
Exactly. So there was no point of us doing anything when there was a substitute, so he would always just put a movie on. And then in high school, we had a bunch of movies on rotation for when we went on competition and we had to drive somewhere. Because, again, Florida is a very long state, and a lot of the competitions were in, like, the northern part of the state or on the west coast of the state. So most of our drives for competition were, like, 4 to 5 to 6 hours. So we would watch, like, 3 movies. And Legally Blonde's on that rotation. We saw a bunch of movies.
I love that movie. Now I just want to go watch Legally Blonde. Either one.
So I watched half of the musical. I haven't finished it yet.
Legally Blonde?
I got to intermission, and then I had to, like, actually work at work.
What you want? When we cover that show, it's like, so I said something, I was talking to my mom. She's like, this is real mom heavy today. But I was talking to my mom
Nothing
about
wrong with that.
The Lightning Thief. And I said something about, I was like, well, it's my favorite musical. And she like looked at me and I was like, right now. I was like, Oh my god, all 3 of my favorite musicals all start with L's. Weird. Because I was going to say Legally Blonde, Les Mis, and Lightning Thief.
Poor Newsies.
I mean, it's in there, but listen. If you said to me you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, it would either be Legally Blonde or I was going to say Newsies, not Newsies. It would either be Legally Blonde or Les Mis. Les Mis just because it's real long, so like it would take me a while to learn all the words.
Mine would still be Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton's pretty great. I just... If it was like one show I could only listen to for the rest of my life, it would probably, it's Les Mis. Just because, I mean, like, I'm sure if I put on the album, I could sing it to you, but I can't do it, like, right off the top of my head. And so, like, I want to just sing to you right on top of your head. Unlike a Harry Potter musical, which I could sing to you front to backwards right this second still.
I still haven't watched that.
That's fine, you have time. That was a teaser.
What were we talking about? Okay, so Alex Brightman. So before this, he was in School of Rock. He was also in Matilda, apparently.
He was the guy teacher.
And Big Fish. And he played Bach in Wicked.
He did, because,
for a while,
like we always say, everyone's been in Wicked.
Literally everyone.
I know, okay, listen. I know we're not supposed to talk about other theater podcasts. I've been told not to, but I'm going to anyway. So, just like...
Who told you not to?
You're just not supposed to talk about, like, your competition. Alex Brightman was on the theater podcast, and you guys should listen to it. It is a lot of interview, and he is just like, that's what made me listen to Beetlejuice, was that interview, and like love School of Rock. And he talks a lot about, like, okay, so going back to Beetlejuice, he was talking a lot about how his understudies don't do the voice, so his Beetlejuice voice is like an anomaly, like no one can do it. He happens to have I don't know how else to say but like janky vocal cords that allow him to do this. So it's not something that really anyone else can do safely, but his ENT doctor was like, I mean, it's not hurting you. Like, there's no inflammation, there's no rubbing, there's no nothing. And he can do it as well as talking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it like...
Because I wondered, like, I haven't listened to that interview yet. I know you've told me to listen to it, and I have it downloaded so that I can listen to it. I just haven't yet. But I've wondered, especially after listening to it so much, like, how he does that 8 times a week.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he literally says it in his Tony Award performance, which, by the way, is, guys, this is real high praise. That is maybe one of the best Tony performances. I just love how he comes out of it. Why are you shaking your head? What's the best Tony performance, Eni? Oh, is it Guns and Ships?
Yes, it's Guns and Ships.
That's
after
true.
The whole Pulse thing that they did it without guns.
Okay, listen, let's not talk, not politically.
I'm not talking politically. I'm saying the Tonys were hosted after the Pulse shooting in Orlando.
Yeah, the same day.
Which, it was a big deal for me because I was in Orlando. Yeah. And, I was in, Lake Buena Vista. I was at Disney. I was on the other side of town. But we were there. I had friends in that club.
Right.
So, it was a huge deal for me. And when we got back and I watched the Tonys and they did Guns and Ships and they did it without guns, I was like, I cried like a freaking baby.
Yeah, because they're showed the next day, too, because when they do the Tonys are on Sunday, so then they don't get Monday off or something.
Yeah.
It's something weird. The next show they did without guns, too.
Yeah.
I think they did it that whole week.
That is my favorite Tony performance, and it will always be my favorite Tony performance. And yes, I saw the Beetlejuice.
I agree. I forgot about that. And also the 2011 opening of Neil Patrick Harris singing "It's Not Just for Gays Anymore."
Oh my god, yes.
Is also so sometimes I get into a hole where all of a sudden I'll be watching Neil Patrick Harris videos and then I just watch every single one of his Tony performances.
I do that too. Actually, and I'm sorry to say this, but one of my favorites is what him and He Who Must Not Be Named did an opening together.
Maybe the only time I've liked him.
It was hilarious. I'm talking about you, Jack.
HJ.
I don't even know what year that was, but I've done the same thing where I just watched Neil Patrick Harris Tony intros because he's hosted 6 times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But also they should just let him do it every year. I haven't gotten sick of it. I don't even care. I just want them to do it all the time. However, James Corden, I really like James Corden.
I was going to say, I really like James Corden hosting. But we'll talk about that in June.
This episode just...
It's all over the place.
It was so funny because when we logged on, Edie goes, I don't really have a lot to say. And I was like, that's fine, I got a lot to say. And then we talked about Batman for 15 minutes.
You had to bring it up again.
I'm sorry, but
I was getting over it.
It's about that time, E. We gotta wrap up.
Do we? I guess.
Okay, I mean, we can keep talking, but I may pee my pants.
Do you have any?
You can cut this out or leave this in. I really don't care.
Do you have any final thoughts? I know that we've been all over the place in this episode, but do you have anything else to say about Addams Family or Beetlejuice?
I mean, I feel like I say this every single time we cover a show, but just like listen to it. Honestly, like I love Krista Rodriguez, who plays the original Wednesday. She's the one that's on the original Broadway cast album. But
I know.
Carrie Hope Fletcher. So just
is
look
there
up.
a UK, because they didn't have, they just toured in the UK, right? It wasn't like
yes, it was just a tour.
Do they have a cast album for it?
No, I looked. But there's a bunch of performances of her, and that's where she met her boyfriend. So like,
I definitely caught Linton watching the video that you posted on Twitter today of her singing "Pulled."
Yes, Linton.
As I got home, I'm like, I was listening. Like, I walked by the office and I could hear the song, and I like poked my head in. I'm like, "What are you doing?" It's like you tweeted it. I'm like, I mean, it was Becca, but yeah, we tweeted it.
Edie, stop pulling back the curtain. I don't run our social media. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no, I'm just saying that particular one you tweeted.
I mean, you don't edit this episode, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I think it's two shows that are really capturing. Like they hook you in. Like they're very entertaining. There wasn't a song or anything that I was like about. Like I thought that they each had like their place in the cast album. Mm-hmm. I like that there's an instrumental song.
Yeah.
In the Addams Family.
Yeah. Which
you don't see a lot of.
Right.
I liked both of the cast albums.
I really liked these albums because they are so, like, all of the songs are so different. And all of the songs still have like you said, still have a place in the show.
Yeah.
I like that they both kind of did the same thing where every character kind of had a style that they did. Like, obviously Gomez was, like, very Hispanic, and then, like, Beetlejuice was very, like, gruff and in your face, whereas, like, Lydia was very, like, la 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 la. I mean, she's also, like, gruff and in your face, but, like, invisible. She's like much more toned down than him. I
liked her solo songs. Like, so when she's like talking to her mom, I think the song's actually called Dead Mom. Yeah. And what's the other one towards the end?
Oh, I see. Invisible is always going to be my favorite. The first one, the very first song.
Yeah.
Which was, like he says literally in the show, that is such a weird way to open a show. I mean, the last 5 years did it, but it's not very common that you open with a ballad. And not only that, but an incredibly sad ballad. Like, if I was writing a show, this is just, like, something I would think about. I would be like, well, this character hasn't earned this moment, if that makes sense. Like, these people aren't in love with this character yet.
Yeah.
But she captures it.
And, like, oh, absolutely. And I kind of really, like, it is very... not weird, just very different, because usually the first number is like very attention grabbing and very like, you know, some sort of like introduction to these are who these characters are and this is why they're doing this or whatever.
I would have thought it would have been the whole being dead thing. Like, I would have thought that would have been the first one.
It feels like it should have been the first song.
It fits so well with the show.
No. I agree. I'm not knocking it at all.
No,
I just like it feels like an introductory song.
Yeah.
But yeah, the prologue, Invisible or whatever, like it's such a different way to start it, and I actually really, really liked it.
I did too. I definitely... The whole Being Dead thing is my favorite song on the album. So is Fright of Their Lives, which they're both Beetlejuice songs.
It's because they're super entertaining, and they're super, like, they're funny, and
it
so
reminds me of the Genie. Like, it's very much, like, all over the place, different styles, just like... See, whereas Genie is chaotic good, Beetlejuice is so chaotic evil. Like, he's just... so ridiculous. But I also really liked how he brought around the invisible line. And I like that they gave the invisible melody when he did his little part to it. And I really liked that they gave his character depth that really hadn't been done in the movie. Like, he was much more of a character in the movie, whereas in this one he was I don't want to say a person. He wasn't a person because he's a demon. But he's much more relatable. Oh, I didn't even finish my thought about Alex's voice. He talked about in that interview that none of his understudies do the voice. And he was talking a lot about how he's like, I can't wait until the show goes on forever. I mean, this was pre-Music Man, but whatever. I can't wait till the show goes on forever and a woman plays Beetlejuice, or a non-binary person plays Beetlejuice, because he's like, Beetlejuice doesn't have a gender. He's a demon. He's like, there are a couple points in the show where they say he, but that's only because I'm a he. Like, it has nothing to do with Beetlejuice, the character. And I just think that that's such a cool thing to be on Broadway right now. Like, I think it needed to be him to get the show in the door, to get people to go see it. But I definitely think, like Lynn has even said in the past, that he can't wait for a female Hamilton. Like, I think it's so awesome seeing all these things being put on stage that have all these opportunities to be other things. And I really truly, we talk about Hamilton a lot, I really truly think Hamilton was like one of the key things to put that idea into Broadway.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Hamilton, whether you hate or you love Hamilton, I think it has its place in history at this point.
History has its eyes on it.
Because it opened so many doors, and it started this whole movement of, inclusion and just what you said. Lynn has talked about having a female Hamilton, the fact that everybody in that show should be a white, straight male, and none of them are.
Right.
So it's just, everyone knows how I feel about that show, but it does, like, it opened the door, and it kind of, like, set the precedent for shows going forward to be inclusive.
And it set a precedent for doing things weirdly. Like, Beetlejuice, I do not think shows, I mean, Addams Family came before Hamilton, but I don't think Beetlejuice would have succeeded in the way it did if shows like Hamilton, let's just say, like, Be More Chill,
Hades Town, like,
those shows could not have existed if Lynn wasn't like, I'm just gonna, like, do some rap slam poetry made with all people of character about just, American history. What do you think? Like, that sound good? Sure, that's what we're doing. So, and then, like, everyone else was just like, oh, we can do this? Like, it doesn't just have to be white people and about white stories. Like, I don't
think that it's so much of people like, oh, we can do this. I think it's more from, like, the people who are putting the shows on stage being like, oh, this is gonna sell. Unfortunately, like, that's kind of how it's, because, like, I feel like even before Hamilton, people have been trying to do stuff like that, because, like, Hadestown has been in the works for a million years, and they've been trying to get Hadestown on stage forever. And I think that because of Hamilton, because of the success of Hamilton, more Broadway producers are more open to different things and weirder shows.
And also, honestly, it's a generational thing too. All of the people that are producers right now are our generation and Generation X. So, like, as a whole, we are much more, accepting. I was going to say I don't want to say accepting. I do want to say accepting. I'm much more accepting of, like, change and of telling different stories and stuff like that, which I'm not, obviously, like, all generations have their flaws, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical by any means. I mean, I am, but you know what I mean? Like, it's obviously not all boomers. My parents are boomers, but I think that, I mean, like, Lynn is only in his late 30s. So, like, he is not a millennial, but he's, like, he's closer to being a millennial than, like,
the average age
of Gen X.
Of Gen X,
so, like, his thinking is coming from, like, that kind of middle point. And that's who all the producers are right now. That's who's putting money into these shows and being like, no, that's not how we're going to do this. We're going to tell stories that mean a lot to us. I mean, look at The Prom. Yeah. Like, look at shows like The Slave Play and Ain't Too Proud, and, like, all of these stories that couldn't have been told.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I don't know how we got to this from Beetlejuice, but, like, I just think that it'll really, I just am so excited for theater today. Like, I get kind of, like, we talk about the pretentious theater fan, I get kind of flack for not knowing all of the old shows. Like, I know The Music Man, I'm not hugely familiar with it. Like, I don't know Anything Goes, Inside Out, all of these, like, older shows, because I'm so much more excited for the shows.
The future. Yeah.
Even
the shows to come, the shows that we're talking about, the shows that include more people, the shows that are weirder, that are not, like, these cookie cutter, this is what Broadway is.
Like, even
shows.
Even a show that was, like, let's just say mainly told by white people. Dear Evan Hansen, right? I mean, it was at the beginning. It's not anymore. Even that show deals with mental health, which has never been something that could ever be talked about. And so all of these doors are being opened for these stories because, it's so hard when the people who are producing the shows are so like one track minded, where theater and creative people are so like, no, like I want to do this and I want to do that.
Not.
Yeah.
They're theater and creators and artistic, and they have all of these ideas. So you're right. And like the producers are kind of, they decide what goes on what goes on stage and what doesn't.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Right.
You have anomalies with like Be More Chill, where it wasn't on Broadway and it had its moment off Broadway, and then the fan, like this thing happened where the internet blew up with Be More Chill, that they brought it to Broadway.
It's the same thing with Lightning Thief. It's all Joe Chase shows, apparently.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the producers are the ones that are putting these shows on stage. Right. So I agree that we're kind of having an influx of younger people who are greenlighting all of these weirder shows. And I say weirder not with a negative connotation, just weirder in the sense of it's not Phantom of the Opera. It's not Oklahoma. It's, it's not this like cookie cutter what Broadway is supposed to be.
So let's just leave it on that, because that's like leaving it on like a positive note. I, for one, am so excited. I mean, especially as someone who teaches kids that are getting into theater because of shows like The Lightning Thief and Be More Chill and Dear Evan Hansen, because they're seeing stories that are really relevant to them today being told on stage. And like theater is so accessible now. Like, it was so hard for me, even in like 2009, for me to be into new shows. I mean, when Book of Mormon came out, do you know how hard it was for me? I mean, that was 2011, but do you know how hard it was for me to find a bootleg or like any video that wasn't the Tony Awards? So like, shows are just, first of all, they're getting so smart because they're sharing stuff constantly on social media, which is very smart. I mean, like, back to Beetlejuice, the girl that plays Lydia has a TikTok that they make TikToks all the time on hers, like 2 Beetlejuice songs. Yeah. So like, it's that's the way our world is going. So theater is becoming cool. And Hamilton was a huge part of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I got made fun of for singing Book of Mormon. Like, that wasn't a cool thing. I mean, all my friends were musical theater nerds, so it wasn't them, but it was, everyone else. So I just love that theater's starting to become cool. Like, when I play a song in my class and one of my kids goes, oh, is that from blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah, actually, didn't know you knew that show.
Knew that, yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
So, like, it's cool. I mean, also, this trend has been kind of going up since Glee, like the being cool thing. But I really think a huge turning point in our history in general was Hamilton. And that's why we get weird shows now. And I love it. I love weird stuff.
The point is... Happy Halloween.
Oh, yeah. It's Halloween.
Beetlejuice is awesome. The Addams Family is equally as awesome. This episode has been all over the place. But that's kind of why I love our show.
Yeah, but what's so funny is we talked about the show in length. Both shows in length.
We did. We did. And yet, somehow...
Here we are.
We also talked about... we've been recording for... an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we're 20 minutes over our regular time. What is this, Dear Evan Hansen?
Okay, you can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at SincerelyUsPod. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _EenyMeeny. That's INYMEENY.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca Eddowes, BECCAEDDOWS. You can find the person who made our logo, Synergetic Art, on Twitter. She's awesome. We still love it. Like, we talk about it all the time. Our logo's so good.
It's so cute.
And I found a quote, the badass woman herself, Wednesday Addams, that it's from the movie, but I'm still counting it. Don't come for me. And it's actually a quote that I used to have in my locker in 6th grade. And so when I found it again, I was like, aw. But she says, Tetris taught me that when you try to fit in, you'll disappear.
Sincerely, us.